Hello beautiful people, today we're here to talk about how to talk to your boss about career advancement. At the end of this video, you will understand why bosses exist. Do you actually know why career advancement exists? Why, if you really want to advance in your career and you want to get promoted, it's time that you deeply understood why bosses exist in the first place. How talking to your boss about career advancement doesn't actually have to be super awkward. And we'll also look at why this particular video requires that we have a pen and a piece of paper to do what I call the honesty paper. One of the things to acknowledge about talking to your boss about career advancement is, particularly if you're doing it for the first time, it always feels hard and awkward. There's a way to be able to mitigate that and not have it feel so bad. One of the ways to do this is to understand why career advancement exists in the first place. So when my daughter was very little, she would come home from school complaining about her teachers because teacher had told her she needed to do more homework, more than likely. But she would come home from school complaining about her teachers. And one day I said to her, "Why do you think teachers exist, sweetheart?" And she was in a bad mood. And she said, "To give me homework." And I said, well, let's expand that a little bit more. Let's think about why teachers really exist. I think that probably teachers exist in order to be able to help you to learn things. And they get really happy and delighted when you learn amazing things. And they get even more happy and delighted when you learn amazing things and you get excited about those amazing things that you're learning. So this is where the honesty paper comes in. Take out a piece of paper and a pencil. And the reason why I'm saying paper and pencil is there's been lots of studies that have proven that paper and pencil actually allow you to be more honest with yourself than if you're simply typing. So take out a piece of paper and a pencil and write down why you think bosses exist. Put at the top of the paper why I think bosses exist. And if your number one answer is to assign me tasks, you're in a similar position to where my 4-year-old was when she came home from school and announced the teachers only existed to give her homework. So if we also recognize that bosses exist to be able to help us advance in our careers, an organization is only as successful as how great its people are. If your organization hired you, they want you to be great. If your organization gave you a boss and asked you to report to them, the boss's job is to make sure that you're going to be great. So the reason why bosses exist is, yes, they need to deliver on the goals of the company. Yes, they need to be able to make sure that stuff gets delivered on time. Yes, they need to be able to deliver customer satisfaction. But the biggest job that they have is actually to be able to grow people and to make sure that those people are successfully delivering value to the external customers of the company. I've been a boss many times for many people, and some wonderful people have worked for me, and I've thoroughly enjoyed working for some wonderful people myself. But I've always been consistently asked to do pretty much the same things. And those are, can I grow revenue? Can I deliver innovation? Can I satisfy customers? And can I grow people? If I'm able to do all of those 4 things, then the chances are I'm going to be very successful in my career. Now, obviously, I need lots of skills and capabilities to be able to do those depending on my particular career, whether it's banking or it's pharmaceuticals or it's biotech or it's healthcare or it's technology. But those 4 things are consistently the same everywhere you go. The most important one of all of those is, can you grow people? Lots of people are able to deliver revenue. Lots of people are able to innovate. Lots of people are able to produce satisfaction. But if I can't grow the people who can deliver revenue, who can drive innovation, who can deliver customer satisfaction, then the company won't continue to grow and sustain itself. If you have people reporting to you, you are measured on whether or not you can grow people. Now, I've heard stories of certain organizations where people are not responsible for growing other people, and those people are sometimes very highly selective individual contributors. But in the end of the day, those people aren't actually going anywhere. They're just there doing a very specific technical type of work. The people who are successful in their careers, who get promoted, who advance in their careers, are the people who are actually capable of growing other human beings. So you can take the awkwardness out of talking to your boss about career advancements once you recognize that it's their job. Their job is to help you advance in your career. They're measured against whether or not you advance in your career. If I'm a boss and I have 50 people reporting to me and I go into the promotion review meeting every single year and I don't have anyone that I'm interested in promoting, it says more about me than it does about the people who are reporting to me. I have a good friend whose dad has this fantastic saying, and it is, I don't ever interview for jobs, I interview for bosses. There are certain instances where you will end up reporting to a boss who is not deeply understanding of your expertise or your particular technical capabilities. If that happens to you, please make sure that that is a relatively short-lived period of time. It's very hard to talk to a boss about career advancement when they don't know what it is that you do. I had a boss at one point where we were doing some very advanced technical work at the time for computer systems development. It was in the early stages of object-oriented design. And the approaches and methodologies that my boss had been brought up with and that he understood and that he liked and that he trusted were absolutely not relevant for what it is that we were doing. Our cycle times for development were blowing everything he knew out of the water. And what he did with that was he stopped showing up at the client site. He stopped coaching us. He stopped helping us. He stopped mentoring us. He would meet with the senior level clients to talk about invoices, but that was pretty much what he did. Now, it's a very understandable reaction when people are reporting to you and doing something that you have absolutely no clue how they're doing it or how to do it. But it's not a great position to be in when that person is your boss. That was very short-lived for me. It lasted for about 6 months. I ended up moving on to another project because I got a lot of recognition for the work that I was doing on that project. So I was moving around to other places. But just be careful when you're working for a boss who doesn't know what it is that you actually do. It's really hard to have that career advancement conversation with them. So now let's ask the question again. Why do bosses exist? Bosses exist to grow you. Now, bosses are going to have a super hard time if you're not interested in growing. Talking to your boss about career advancement is helping your boss grow you. One of the most effective ways to do that is to take my promotion readiness assessment and do the first step in helping your boss promote you. Take the readiness assessment, the link is down in the description, and get ready to have a conversation with your boss about getting promoted.